Welcome to the CCO Pre-Show for episode...
You just said it.
434? 434?
I believe it is.
Holy shit.
It took that many to finally bust through the glass ceiling or whatever they call it and get in here.
To finally grab that brass ring and climb all the way to the top of podcasting, baby.
Wrestling.
Brought to you by the glorious patrons over at patreon.com/CCO Podcast, whether they like it or not. Where you might notice that Ryan has grown a beard and is wearing a hat that doesn't have camo on it and is wearing a shirt without sleeves. Because when you break your leg and have to have surgery, you have to grow a beard and have a shirt with no sleeves. That's part of the recuperation process, a la the Canadian medical system.
Yes.
So how do you feel?
I feel a little weak, both in mind and body.
Oh, man, I hope that gets better for you soon.
It'll probably heal with my leg.
You think?
I think so.
Okay, good. So your feelings and leg. And then what happens to the beard? Do you keep it?
No, unfortunately, I have to unglue it and take it off. Give it back.
Yeah, right. Because Ryan's facial hair is clear. The funny part of this whole joke is Ryan has literally had a beard the entire 8 years we've done the show. You just can't see it. It's that blonde. For real life, this is my man Gary, producer Gary.
Hello!
He is the proprietor here at the Damn Network. We're not actually in the Damn studio right now.
In the dungeon.
We finally got out. We could go fucking anywhere. And we ended up in front of this flaming dumpster.
Literally a dumpster fire.
Why?
It is not. It's what do they call it? It's not a metaphor for anything. It's just something we are fans of.
Yeah, it's just, Ryan has been gone for a week, and now we don't have power or warmth or cold, and we had to burn all the equipment to keep ourselves from dying. So here we are.
It's working. Yeah, I think it's working good.
So here we go.
I'm nice and toasted. I'm already sweating, so that's what I'm saying. I'm feeling the heat off.
It's a good sign. So we've got a very exciting show for you this week. We're going to talk about some of the headlines, making headlines in Magic, from the perspective of somebody that maybe isn't as entrenched in the show, maybe as you or I are. You meaning the viewer, thank you, / listener, or I being the host of the show.
Yes.
But this is weird. I'm not used to being the host.
I know. I was gonna say, are you okay with all that?
I don't know how. I don't know why I volunteered for this. I'm too laid back for this much responsibility. Yes. Anybody who's ever been to a CCO experience and actually seen me and Ryan like at work with one another, they're like, man, how did this happen? Is what they're saying. Like
the oddest of odd couples.
Well, nobody thought that Ryan could ever be put down by anything. And while he's not down, he will be back, I assume, for next week.
Oh yeah, he'll be back.
Pry
it out of his cold dead hands. After he sees this, he'll probably be back just to redo it. He'll wheelchair his way in from the ranch.
Now we don't have the ramp set up. We were talking about that earlier on your show.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about some headlines in the world of Magic. We're going to talk about some of the other things, maybe some events we got coming up, and just kind of have a good old time, me and Gary doing it old school style. Is there anything that you, Gary, as somebody who's Magic adjacent now, given your current position, is there anything that you would like to know about the game, or that any thoughts that you have based on things that you've heard, things that you've seen, something you would like to address? This is your forum, my dude.
I think my biggest issue with trying to comprehend this incredible thing that is Magic the Gathering is the different types of gameplay. Because you guys keep talking about Commander and how Commander is the style you play, but I don't know how to differentiate any of that. So maybe if we could start at the bare basics and you could explain to me what the hell is Commander.
Commander is a format in Magic where you have a deck of 100 cards.
Holy cow.
100 individual cards.
Now, I'll just keep jumping in when I have these questions.
Do it.
So you got 100 cards. What's a normal Magic game consist of card-wise?
Depending on where you're playing, usually between 40 and 60.
Okay, so this is like lots of cards.
Yes, this is lots of cards. Originally, the format was invented by some dudes that were on like the rules committee that were really down deep in Magic as a way to play some of the cards that don't have homes anywhere else. Like they're too old or they're outclassed by other stuff, and they wanted to find a way where I want to play with all this stuff that's in my binder. It's not worth anything, so selling it isn't really an option. Nobody wants it for trade, so we got to find somewhere where we can play it. So what happened was they decided, okay, we're going to pick one legendary creature out of a deck. And legendary creature is a type of card. These days, it just means it's good. They tack legendary on it, so you can't have more than one in play at a time.
Ooh, okay.
In my opinion. And you would pick a legendary creature, and they have colors. There's 5 colors in Magic, and that dictates what color of card you can play in your deck.
Okay. Do any commanders have multiple color abilities, or is always one?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Nope, they go from 1 to 5.
I'm getting ahead of myself here.
Oh yeah. So you get to from 1 to 5 based on what you want to play, and then in your deck you'll have 99 cards left over because your commander counts.
Yeah.
You can only have one of any card, with the exception of what is called a basic land, which is the basic resource within the game, where if you don't have them, your deck won't function. So you can have as many of those as you want for the basic ones. But other than that, you can only have one of anything.
Wow.
So like you can go, originally I feel the idea was you go through your trade binder, your junk box, and you pick out all this stuff that you really wish you could have played, right?
Yeah.
Man, I got all these cool dragons that can't do shit anywhere. And you make a deck out of them. And then as the world went on, people realized, man, this is fun. Right? People really liked it. People really enjoyed it.
Imagine that. Getting to use things you like.
Yeah, who would have thought that playing a game and having fun,
sense.
right?
Yeah,
What?
it's right there.
Then eventually the company that owns Magic the Gathering, Wizards of the Coast,
Yes.
a subsidiary of Hasbro till all or none, got a hold of it, and they kind of started officially supporting it, where they were releasing things directly into the Commander format. And I initially, when they first started doing that, I was super against it. I didn't like it. I thought it was very much against the spirit of the game.
Yeah.
And we're actually going to talk about that on the show.
I like that.
There's a teaser. Guessing game. Sorry.
Yes, winners.
Winners. We don't have the winners because Ryan picks the winners, and I don't have one. So watch next week's pre-show. We'll have 2 winners.
Double winners.
If you want to win again, you could be a patron over at patreon.com/CCO Podcast. Or you can tell us in the comments down below, what was the first commander you ever built?
There you go.
That's a good.
There you go.
Like
and then when you win, what do you get to choose from?
Oh, you can pick from a CCO sticker pack, a CCO token pack, or a dirty, rotten, stinking old pack of Magic cards.
Has there only ever been one person that took that third prize?
To my knowledge, that is very rare to pick that. There was a time when people used to pick them around Christmas time. People will pick the pack and say, hey, like, I want
Merry
the pack,
Christmas.
throw it in the sock and give it away as a thing. And then we'd give it away as a big prize at the end of the year for Christmas. But mostly people like the stickers and the tokens.
Well, they are awesome.
Because our stickers and tokens.
They are so good, in fact, that at the Ganbate convention, our boy Dragon took a sticker that was stuck onto a piece of paper and tore it out of the piece of paper and gave it to the person, thinking it was a sticker that he could still peel off, but it was just a sticker stuck to
a sticker
paper.
stuck to
It
a
was
piece
amazing.
of loose leaf.
That's how bad that dude won that sticker. And I love that. It was amazing.
You know, when I walked up and I saw that, I was like, what the hell happened? And you were explaining it. I'm looking at Dragon. Dude.
But wait, he's always like, no, like this, listen. It's like, oh man, I don't know if you can really explain that.
Like, bro, there's a box of them right there.
right there.
There's the whole box full of stickers, man. You could have given him any one of those, but you didn't. But you know what? That's why we love him, and
He's
that's
the best.
why he's a member of the nation now, because
Yes.
only here will you see that kind of bullshit.
That's so good.
Which is the best. So, getting back to your
Yes.
initial question, that's the kind of origin of Commander.
Okay.
The other types of Magic, the types of play, as you would say, you to boil it down
Yes.
really succinctly, there are the 60 card formats. Those are like standard or legacy or vintage. Those are different legalities of cards based on like how vintage is basically every card ever printed.
Okay.
Legacy is also every card ever printed with a very distinguished ban list that you can't play.
Ooh, okay.
Only available in Vintage. And Standard is essentially what is the newest stuff, the last couple of years. That's the rotating format that kind of keeps people buying packs and buying product. It's
Okay.
if you're going to play or I guess there's Modern as well. It's like Legacy Light. I forget the year that it goes back to. So those are the 60 card formats. And in those, you don't have a commander. And you can play 4 of any non-basic land card.
So you can load up with your favorite guys.
You can load up with your best stuff. And that's the main distinguishing point between Commander and regular.
Does that mean I can have 4 Brash Taunters?
Oh, baby, yes, you could.
I bet you've done that before.
You better believe it.
I'm so excited. I love this so much.
It feels so good. It felt really good. There was actually a time in Commander where my whole deck was just built to make as many Brash Taunters as I could. And you better believe I won that game.
Oh, yeah. There's no way you're going to lose.
It was very good.
All I know about Magic from being producer Gary is that Brash Taunter is the greatest card in the history of Magic.
See, he knows. He
That's all I
knows
know.
everything he needs to know.
Him and Glorb.
Yep. Glarb is an adjective, a verb, and a proper name. So
It's amazing.
that's
Versatile.
Yeah. I
That
love
sounds good.
words like that. I like words like that.
Me too.
And then the last main way you can play Magic the Gathering is through a random thing or a seal or a draft. What those are is when you go in, you're going to pay money for X number of packs. If it's a draft, it's going to be 3. If it's a sealed, you're going to get 6. And then through various means, you're going to use the cards that you open blindly in those packs to create a deck. Those ones are usually 40 cards. And you can play as many of any card as you open.
It's like the Wild West, right?
Yes, and it sounds like, oh my god, I'm going to play 10 of this one thing. You never get 10 of one thing, which is actually not true. I did play I don't know how it happened, but it's the best draft in the history of Magic the Gathering. I've told the story on the show a bunch of times.
Yeah.
We're just, I feel like maybe everybody was drunk, or they felt like, man, Brando's never won one of these.
The pity win.
And we really want him to. So let's just make sure that he gets
Load that thing up.
5 of the best card in draft in the set.
And then just walked over everyone.
Oh my god.
Flopped it down.
Yeah.
Game over.
It felt really good.
Yeah.
It felt really good.
I feel like, as well, that you might be kind of like me when it comes to luck and those sort of things with these games. So, on the rare occasion when it really works in your favor, it's like you're so grateful and enjoy it so much more than someone who is lucky all the time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. When I finally managed to eke out a win, it's a pretty big deal.
Hell yeah.
It's a big deal for me.
I love that.
Because the people who have watched the box openings on the channel, they know.
Best.
They know.
The best.
They know that I'm not great at this. But do you think that RNG is a random
number generation? Yeah.
Do you think that is something that is a benefit to, or a hindrance to things that are we'll say Magic in certain cases is competitive? Do you think that the randomness enriches a game like this, or in your mind would you think that it's a hindrance to a game?
For me, in this situation, I tend to look at something like speed runs. As you know, we're huge gamers. We love speed runs. Yeah. And the RNG is the great equalizer. No matter how good of a speed runner you are, you still have to get those things to drop for you in order to break a record. So in that way, I love how it sort of levels the playing field a little bit. But at the same time, if I'm a wily veteran and I want to be perfect, it would really piss me off. So I think there's good and bad to both sides, if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. So I think that this part of the thing that I really like about Magic is you can be somebody that's got the perfect deck.
Yeah.
The perfect 99, right? It's everything has been sculpted, and then you whip it out with your buddies, and somebody's sitting over there, he's got something, no sleeves on it. They just found a bunch of shit on the floor, and they're the first time they ever shuffled a deck of cards before in their lives.
Shooting everywhere.
Right? And they just roll you because your
RNG.
draws are bad, right? RNG is the great equalizer here as well.
And I imagine that would also play a lot more in a deck of, like you say, 99 and 1 Commander than a 60 or a 40.
That is what makes it's so exciting, I think, to play Commander. You have a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? When it's the same kind of every time when you're playing the 60 by 4 is what I call them.
Yeah.
But the kind of more constructed formats, you have a lot more control over what your deck's going to do, and so that RNG is a lot less.
Yeah, less chance for it.
And I'll admit this, because I'm not very good at it anymore, at least. I used to be fairly okay, but I don't have that part of my brain just doesn't work now. Now I want to drink beer and have fun with my friends.
Yeah.
And try and talk somebody out of killing me instead of trying to play them You know, that's just easier.
You're choosing diplomacy over violence.
Exactly, but then I always eventually choose violence.
Of course.
For the record, you ever play Brando? I will choose violence eventually, and when I do, it's very violent.
Very well done.
Yeah, that's why I thank you very much.
I have another question for you.
Okay.
Do we shout out any business daddies or anyone right now?
No, we're
This
going to
time?
shout them
We
out.
wait for that show?
Yeah, no, they don't have nothing to do. We do whatever we want. We can talk all about how we go to Winnipeg, and Winnipeg's a giant dumpster fire of a city. And I wish that Fusion Gaming, while they have a delightful storefront,
Incredible.
with a great staff,
The best.
very well stocked,
Beautiful.
is in existence. It is essentially a pustule on the side of the anus of Canada. And I feel so bad for these great people that live in such a derelict of a city.
Pustule?
Pustule, good word.
You're the one that said it.
Man, that should be the new CCO promo code. CCO Pustule.
What is that? Like, are we saying like a pussy jewel? That's
Yeah.
a growing.
Yeah,
okay.
I always assumed that's what that was.
I love
'cause they're
that.
kind
No,
of like a
that's-
little
yeah.
growth thingy.
That's it.
I don't have
You
a
nailed
medical
it.
degree. I don't know what that is.
You know, doctor.
Right? I know lots of science facts, but one of them is not what a pustule is.
The only thing that you are for sure a doctor of is thugonomics.
Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah, I'm very gangsta.
Can't
and,
see him.
And yeah, I am virtually invisible.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that my yellow shirt actually doesn't show up on the screen right now, because that would make it very funny if my
you
core
actually
was.
were invisible. Oh man, I would love that, sir.
I would like that as well. Are you excited to be on the very first, get this, GBO on the CCO YTC? That's the Gary and Brando out.
When you say it like that, I get very excited.
Right? That sounds
It's
pretty cool.
It sounds
right?
official now.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about some really exciting
excited.
stuff. We got some stories to tell, some people to thank. You know the drill. We're going to talk about all that tomorrow on a very, very, very exciting episode of Commander Cookout Podcast. And hit our theme song
How long do we hold it for?
until Fiona says you start recording.